All right, for the record, we are in the meeting 8 minutes and
Can we just start over? I mean, it's gonna take 5 minutes. Just go back and review what you've already done.
So you
All
can
right.
sum it up, and I think that you'll be safe.
All right, so to call the meeting to order. We have Councilwoman Baumgartner joining us via Zoom. During personal appeals, we had none. Community minute, we mentioned the Memorial Day Parade starting at 9 a.m. at the high school and went to the Veterans Triangle. We also mentioned that there is the community yard sale the first Saturday after Memorial Day. And there's 2 ribbon cuttings the mayor mentioned, which
Missed it on Saturday, and we had to do the big stuff on Sunday.
there was no special presentations. We approved the reading minutes on May 2nd.
Motion by Hart, second by Valiant, carried unanimously.
And then we had decisions on bids. We had the water truck lease, which we had a recommendation to approve First Columbia Bank and Trust at a rate of 3.1% for 2 years with an annual payment of $27,325. And that was a motion by,
Dufresne, seconded by McManaman, carried unanimously.
thank you. And then under communications, we had Alan Sylvester requesting reappointment to the Recreation and Entertainment Commission, which was approved with a motion made by,
Valiant, seconded by McManaman, carried unanimously, term through 6/7/25.
we had no borough engineers report, we had no solicitors report. Unfinished business part 1, we had none, and we are now, did I say the orders before she? We're out.
We're just starting the ordinance. Yeah, just starting.
All right, we have ordinance 1228, an ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending chapter 15, 602.2.a of the Emmaus Borough Code, removing a residential disabled parking sign on the public street located across from 628 Ridge Street within the Borough of Emmaus. This is the first reading, and the second reading will be in our meeting in June, which will be the 3rd Monday in June. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve ordinance 1228? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any questions or discussion? All right, this is a roll call vote. Councilwoman McManaman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner.
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Valiant.
Aye.
Councilman Hart.
Aye.
Councilman Dufresne.
Aye.
Councilman Lambert. Aye. There are 7 ayes, and we'll have our second reading in June. Unfinished business part 2, we have none. Does anybody have anything to bring forward that is not on the agenda? Hearing none, mayor's report.
I have nothing to report. Progress.
Thank you. Committee reports, we have Public Works Committee, Chairman Andrews.
I have nothing for official action. We meet Wednesday at 4 p.m. via Zoom, and I'll report progress.
Thank you. House Sanitation and Codes Committee, Chairman Valiant.
Tonight, for council's consideration, I have resolution 2022-25 is a resolution for a preliminary and final for a property located at 303 Franklin Street. And that went through everything. And I'm going to put that in a form of motion to be approved for council.
There's a motion by Councilman Valiant. Is there a second? Councilman Dufresne. All right, at this time, if you want to present the plans and the conditions that need to be met yet.
Jason, I think they need an explanation as to what all needs to be done here.
Okay.
And I know that they also have a representative here as well.
Just give a brief overview. They are proposing a subdivision of John Nonamaker property at 303 Franklin Street, and proposes a subdivision of one existing lot, 3 lots. The existing lot contains about 1.5 acres. They are proposing to construct a single-family detached dwelling on lots 1 and lot 3, with the existing single-family detached dwelling remaining on lot 2. They did get a variance for the front yard setback. It was granted at the November 22nd, 2021 Borough Zoning Hearing Board meeting, allowing the existing house on proposed lot 2 to retain its existing non-conforming front yard setback. We have reviewed the plans. There are some minor items remaining to be addressed. They did just submit their planning module approval. I received that today. So I don't know if there's anything that you would like to.
No, I mean, I think, a lot of planning, hopefully resolve every issue that we possibly have, so. If there was only one review, that's, Jason, one of the comments was about discussing with the council about the $1,000 rec fee, which we noted on our plan that we were willing to do for lot 20 and lot 3, but for some reason we were supposed to, I was supposed to discuss it with you tonight to see if that was. That was my question.
That's for ordinance section 511, there's a contribution for recreational purposes. And they have offered $1,000 cash for each lot 1 and lot 3 in lieu of an offer for recreation plan.
Yeah, to be dedicated to Lions Playground. Yeah, it was discussed at Lions.
So much better.
So yeah, that's what we would prefer.
And that would be reflected on your development agreements.
Okay, I missed the beginning of what you said.
So so when you build new units, you can either do recreational improvements or it's $1,000 per unit, right, towards recreation. And what we've been doing with all of our developments was whatever the closest park is, we've been having them put right in their development plan. $1,000 goes towards that park. So this would be $2,000 would go towards Lions Playground.
And that's part of this.
And it would be noted on the plan.
Yeah, it is. It may not specifically to that part, but it's noted for the contribution for each lot.
Yeah, and then the development agreements, once they're done after this, they specifically say where it's going.
Okay. Any questions, anybody? All right, so we have a motion on the floor. There was a second. And there's no more discussion or questions. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next meeting is going to be May 25th at 4:45 on the Zoom. And with that, I will report progress.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation Committee Chairwoman Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing for official action. The meeting notes from May 3rd are attached in your iPad. We do have a pool study public meeting. It's the second public meeting and the final public meeting. It'll be this Wednesday, May 18th at 6 p.m. via Zoom. That information is on our website and we'll be posting it on our social media as well. And our next meeting will be Tuesday, June 7th at 4:45 p.m. via Zoom. I report progress.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee Chairman Hart.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 remaining action items since we already approved the first reading of ordinance 1228. The first deals with hiring of a police officer. Candidate Tim Klein, born and raised in Mass, is known to all of us since she's been an auxiliary police officer in the downtown, principally responsible for parking control since May of last year. He's also a firefighter with the Mass Fire Department since that time as well. Tim has educational training in threat management from the Pennsylvania State University, as well as 33 credits in criminal justice from Bloomsburg University. In the executive session of the Public Safety Committee last Tuesday, we're united in our sense that Mr. Klein should be presented to council for consideration and appointment. I therefore make a motion to hire Timothy Klein as patrol officer in the Mass Police Department, contingent upon successful completion of the Act 120 program, as a July enrollment, a physical examination, eye examination, psychological examination, and that he successfully completes his probationary period. Further, that we authorize the borough manager to engage the associated outside professional services for pre-employment screening purposes.
Motion by Councilman Hart, is there a second? Councilman Dufresne, any discussion? I just want to mention, I'm excited that we actually have an officer from Emmaus applying. We've been talking over several years now, as we have our retirements coming in. A lot of our officers that grew up in Emmaus, they graduated from our high school and they lived in this community. And it's just nice to see that we're getting one of our hometown boys in there, so. That's all. It's just nice to have them from local and not somebody coming from out of state or something. So with that being said, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
The second action deals with a sergeant promotion in the police department. Again, in executive session last week, the Public Safety Committee collectively felt that Patrolman Kevin Schmidt be considered by council for promotion to sergeant. Recall Officer Schmidt was being considered last year for the position, but public safety felt the recommendation consideration for promotion should come forward with the new Chief Afkar when he was appointed, and that Kevin had additional time in his leadership role as a senior patrol officer. Chief Afkar gave a glowing recommendation, and the Public Safety Committee had similar feelings. I therefore make a motion to recommend Kevin Schmidt for the rank of sergeant in the Emmaus Police Department, along with the required standard 1-year probation.
Motion by Councilman Hart, second by Councilwoman McManaman. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. There's 7 ayes.
I have no further action. Our next meeting is scheduled for May 26th at 9 a.m. via Zoom. I report progress.
Thank you. Under General Administration Committee, it's myself, and we have the fire union contract to approve this evening. Do we need to go over or just approve it?
It's up to you.
Well, it's a 5-year contract, and this is our first contract negotiated since the union formed. We did have a 1-year extension with the first contract that we negotiated. It brought them up to where we can be competitive with other units or municipalities, I guess.
Well, I mean, I would say that it's still well below what any unionized contract around us is, but it definitely gave them a substantial increase to, I think, retain and attract professional firefighters.
Yes, but there's not many part-time paid firefighters. Most of them are full-time.
Yeah.
The closest one is probably Wilsonboro. So anyhow, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the fire union contract, which is a 5-year contract? Councilman Hart, is there a second? Councilman Anders, any more discussion or comments?
I just want to say thank you to the fire department. The union members in the fire department, I think, were very well prepared. They were very professional. That was a very good, very clean, very quick negotiation with them, which is not normal. But it is appreciated that they were prepared. I think they presented well. They had facts and figures. They didn't negotiate with emotions, which made it easier for the negotiation team to have a back and forth with them without any of those emotions that unions tend to get during negotiations.
And having a 5-year contract will help us definitely with budgeting because we know what the set increases are then. So, all right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Yeah, the meeting notes to review. If nobody has any questions, our next meeting is this Thursday at 9 a.m., our regular scheduled time. Budget and Finance Committee, Chairman Dufresne.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have my for official action, the bill list. Resolution 2022-26, resolve the Borough Council to authorize payment of the May 16, 2022 bill list as follows. Bill list $610,902.85. Payroll number 9, $166,263.96. Payroll taxes $54,127.48 for a total of $831,294.29 on the 16th of May 2022, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Hart. Any discussion, question, or questions on the bill list? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
You can see the significant revenue and expense items in there, and also the May 5th meeting notes. Our next meeting is this Thursday, May 19th at 11 a.m. via Zoom in progress.
Thank you. You have 4 sets of meeting minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, sorry. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, Chairwoman McManaman.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do have 2 items for official action this evening. The first item is picnic tables on the Triangle. If you all remember, during COVID, we had placed 3 picnic tables on the Triangle for outdoor seating to be temporary. We didn't put them out last year because they were in poor condition and they were also vandalized. So Troy Bauer had given me a call saying that the picnic tables were stored at Public Works and asked us what we wanted to do, or asked the Arts Commission. So I did approach Arts Commission first to see they would like to repaint, refurbish those picnic tables. And in our discussion with CRD, Mr. Pepe brought up that these tables aren't for long-term use or a plan, that a more permanent solution might be discussed. So we wanted to come before council and discuss our recommendation from CRD to actually have picnic tables on the Triangle. This would be the 3 wooden picnic tables that Arts Commission would paint. They would be in use from May to November, which coincides with the Emmaus Farmers Market. So I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and place 3 painted picnic tables on the Triangle again this season. So
there's a motion by Councilwoman McManaman. Is there a second? Councilman Hart. Is there an estimated time of how long it will take them to do this?
Once we agree, they said that it could be a couple of weeks.
And who is
they have to mobilize.
Who is prepping them, or like sanding them down and getting them all ready for the painting?
We would talk to Troy, asked what Public Works needed to do, so we kind of needed to go through the logistics of that. It would most likely be Public Works.
Because we can do that quickly
Yeah,
and probably a little bit more careful. But then we're gonna have to deliver them somewhere to be painted. We can't do it in town hall.
And then are they being primed by us, or is it they're priming it and painting them?
Public Works primed them last time.
Okay.
It's a neat thing to have downtown.
Yeah.
And I do believe that even during the market and during the regular week, people do sit there, have lunch, and we don't really have anything.
We found that they were very heavily used, and when we did finally take them down, because we did leave them up longer than what we had originally anticipated, but people actually issued concerns that we actually took them away.
I heard.
So there's a more permanent solution, and we want to have a bigger discussion. There is like more of a square metal table that's like a metal though, you know what I mean? So that way people can't edge their names or all the fun stuff that they've been trying to edge into things.
It'd be permanently.
It'd be permanently fastened to the ground too. So we would be talking about long-term outdoor tables.
How much are they?
About 1,100 pieces, is it? And that was just a quick internet search.
Yeah, and we discussed the option or suggestion of going through the Chamber Foundation for at least 1 table and then to continue through other grant opportunities.
I think we would probably be done with that 3,500 to 4,000 installed for 3 of them.
We could go a long way.
And we would do one of them would be, at least one of them would be ADA, you know, which really for those tables is one bench missing so that wheelchair can be pushed up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know it was sort of implied up front here, and my concern is that it doesn't get delayed by making it a long project. I appreciate the Arts Commission doing it, but, you know, we are into that season, so I'm glad to hear that Public Works is going to sand and prime it, and then we can.
I think the last time it took maybe, after Public Works got through with it, I think it probably took the artists
It was
probably a
only-
week.
Yeah, it was only like a week.
Yeah, it was only
at
a week or
most.
two.
That's great.
The logistics will be around where they go, but we'll figure that out.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There's 7 ayes.
The next item is the appointment to the Emmaus Community Garden. The committee interviewed Rebecca Strauss, and Rebecca comes to us by way of the Emmaus Shade Tree Commission as well. She does have a space at the garden and has already been working with them. So we'd like to make a motion to approve Rebecca Strauss to the Emmaus Community Garden Commission for a term ending January of 2024.
Motion by Councilwoman McManaman. Is there a second? Councilman Valiant. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There's 7 ayes.
I'd also like to thank, well, the meeting notes are attached, and within those meeting notes, there are 2 items I'd like you guys to take a specific look at. The Emmaus Main Street Partners Business Development Committee and a resident, Beth Sharpless, is a resident in Emmaus who really wanted the planters to be filled. So she mobilized and she got a group of volunteers. It wasn't just Emmaus residents, it was, of course, the Business Development Committee as well as Emmaus Rotary. So do take a look around. They do look great. We are going to be moving them around.
So I did read that you said all of them were adopted except for 2. So what happens to those 2?
They'll be, they know that other people are looking to adopt. They
Somebody
don't
else
have to be adopted.
Yeah. That's all.
I even thought it would be kind of cool if council had one. You know, it's just something different, you know, for us to do. And Mr. Dufresne, I'm sure would be happy to.
As long as John and Brett can picnic tables. will be good.
And then,
Okay.
Also, please be sure to read through the Visioning 2030. We're talking about a kickoff meeting of August into September. This is where we will invite stakeholders of the Visioning 2030 and introduce the community and developers, realtors, contractors, let them know what we're talking about for visioning. So unless there are other questions.
Just, I've noticed, and I believe it's this weekend, they're gonna be painting fire hydrants once again. Am I correct, Terry? I think it's 19 that I read.
Yes, and
So it'll be
I haven't
exciting
seen
to
doing
see a bunch of more fire hydrants painted around town. Looking pretty snappy.
Shane, how many fire hydrants do we have? Do we have an inventory of how many there are? About?
Yeah, it's something like 200.
And how many are painted? Maybe 50,
More,
60?
yeah,
There's probably more than 200. I think it's 200 that are.
they're going through the phases as they.
So my question
It might
is,
be 400. I have so much inventory of so many things, I can't remember.
so my question is, it's great that we have that the commission painting 20 to 50 a year because they do it twice a year, maybe?
Mhm.
Yeah. But my question is, they're all over town and there's ones that are really rusty and they just need to be painted and do we have any intention of doing that and just hitting them all and getting them all done and then?
That's a public works.
So we
discussion.
can talk about it Wednesday.
Okay, I'm just saying,
I'll
because
ask the engineer.
we bought that equipment.
And
Do
that's
that.
also a hydrant paint was a budget line item that I think that we didn't fund very heavily as well.
Well, we budgeted
For
within
nothing
the
to
fire
do,
department budget for
for
parts
that,
for those.
but not extra.
Not.
No, I understand, but I
Do
mean,
all the rest.
my whole point was we spend a lot of money for that piece of equipment to clean the hydrants and paint them. So anyhow, yes, Public Works Committee will discuss that.
Our next meeting is Monday, June 13th, via Zoom, and for progress.
Thank you. We have 3 sets of meeting minutes from boards and commissions. Personal Appeals Part 2. Do we have anyone of our virtual guests? We'll unmute you, and if you have personal appeals, please speak up and state your name and what your appeal is. Anybody? All right, we can remute them. And that leads to Borough Manager's report.
I currently have a bunch of people that I'm hiring.
You have to read them all?
I do, I have to publicly announce her, so. Lifeguards. I'm hiring contingent upon completing training and certifications, Lily McAfee, Kira Walter, Sarah Paulson, Sophie Laird, Julia Brown, and Paisley Wilmer. I'm also bringing back Five Squawk, Casey O'Walk, Ray Lim, Catherine Raynock will be a head lifeguard. Ray Reed will be an assistant pool manager. Tristan Mahanan will be a head lifeguard at Minnow. Hammershock, Sean Laird, Enzo, Glodieri, Tessa Seagraves, Sarah Bowler, and John Vasquez. I will tell you this. As of a month and a half ago, we were really worried. As of a month ago, we were still worried. As of 2 weeks ago, we were worried. As of today, we have more than what we had in 2019. So that's good. Pool cashiers, I'm hiring Emma Durnan and James Raynock. I'm also bringing back Kane Wessner and Bridget Danish. Concession stand, hiring Ashlyn Mugavero, Haley Riffle, Chloe Landis, and Alexandria Kosalsko. And I'm bringing back Sarah Hoke, Sarah Schmelzley, and Pat Dieter. And then obviously we have our pool manager and our concession stand manager that have been continuous employees. So all of our seasonal employees for those 3 areas have been hired. We are hiring one parks employee, so finishing with background. So last thing I will tell you is like a full, I had the Public Works job open for like a month and received 715 applications. So I have it narrowed down to about 25. We will be interviewing probably next week and getting that narrowed down so that the Public Works Committee can get at least one person hired. And then after public safety talks about a couple other things, we may be bringing a second name to you in the next month or so. So it just depends on the direction of public safety wants to take with another position. There's a public works employee in the police hiring process. So depending on what happens there, I do not want to put out another application round for a public works job.
You might want to shorten the timeline.
4 days.
I think it's worth speculating here that the lower rates that we negotiated for new employees was not a deterrent to the number of applicants that we received. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
we always need to pay attention to what the market is.
Well, and so this is the, this beats the highest number of applicants I've ever had at 200.
Which is kind of ironic considering you hear everybody saying they can't find workers and we have 700 some plus applicants.
Are you gonna really interview 25?
No, I've got it down to
All
25.
right.
Yeah, I got it down to 25. I'm gonna hand these 25 off to the public works director to discuss. I was not gonna hand him
He's not gonna
715.
interview 25.
No.
Okay.
I want him to narrow down to.
So you guys will
maybe-
each pick
maybe
your top 10 or something like
yeah,
that.
Probably 10. And then we'll get a top 3 to the public works. Like, but I'll tell you this, we had 700 and I truly appreciate it. Very, very, very vast differences in backgrounds. From executive chefs to police officers to public works employees, construction workers, to secretaries. Definitely a very vast background, which I expect when you advertise on the platform. I can't hold a comment why you didn't make the cut. But the word cut has a lot to do with it. Do you have anything for me? We'll finish into our discussion in executive session. Or-
All right, under president's business, we'll have an executive session to discuss contracts only? What's the other
In
one?
real estate.
And real estate. And we are not expected to make any decisions, so we'll just adjourn when we come out of an executive session. So at this time, I'll recess at 7:38 and all right, council is, oh, I don't have the time. Council is reconvening at 8:24. Is there a motion to adjourn? Councilman Bally, seconded by Councilwoman McManaman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes, meeting adjourned at 8:24.
How many people